In the most recent announcement, ASUS came out with a brand new series of laptops, the Pro variant of the Vivobook laptops. We praised the Vivobook S series of laptops for its price-performance ratio and also offers a very good battery life with some upgradability in it. So, does this laptop, the Vivobook Pro variant, expand upon these plus points? Well, it does come with an OLED panel for one, but we still have to find out for sure. So from the moment we unbox it, we can see that this laptop is very different from the Vivobook S series of laptops. From what I can see and feel here, this laptop does come with a fantastic build quality. And one thing I just want to highlight here is that this laptop screen here has very minimal flex, and I can't even bend it much because this laptop is just very well built, and yet it's not really that heavy too. But the design of this laptop though is a bit weird, because if you remember like a year or two ago, ASUS has this weird obsession when it comes to the enter key with that Mountain Dew color. They call it color blocking or something, but now they got this obsession with the warning stripe design. And I just want to highlight that these two metal plates on the lid here, I'm not really a fan of, because number one, literally everyone who saw this plate will ask me if these two plates can be peeled off. And number two, you see it's raised from the laptop's lid here, and it will just catch dust, grime, lint, whatever on this little corner part here. I don't know how to describe it, but it's just, yeah, things will get stuck there. And also, if I want to put this into my bag, it will definitely catch some of the inner pockets and compartments for sure. But once we get the laptop open, which can be done with just one finger because the hinge is very nicely tuned, we can see a very beautiful 15.6-inch OLED panel. And actually, I do want to point out that this coating used on this screen here is very similar to the Galaxy Z Fold 3's inner screen, because it's glossy and smooth, but it's not that reflective. So yeah, it just looks very nice. Anyway, just know that this screen looks great, and it also has fantastic brightness alongside with very accurate colors. I don't really care what ASUS claims in their marketing, because in our own tests, this display can go up to 400 nits of brightness at max. And then we tested the color accuracy at 100 nits of brightness, and we got more than 99% for both sRGB and DCI-P3 color gamuts. However, in our case here, for this laptop in particular, I think we did get a lemon unit, because when I use Google Keep, yes, I do use Google Keep for a lot of stuff, I realized that if the text is white color on a darker background, then those texts will start to have fringing. It doesn't look as sharp, because as you can see here, the text at the top part will have this reddish magenta color, whereas at the bottom part of the text will have some blue colors, some blue outlines if you will. So I did have a short discussion with ASUS to know that if this issue is happening to other units or not, and we came inconclusive because they didn't find any units with this issue. So I think it's just our bad luck, but it is still worth mentioning, because if these kind of issues happen to your unit, just send it in for warranty. I should also mention that the bezels of this screen is also very thin, and yet it also has a webcam at the top alongside with a privacy shutter here that you can just push to block it. And we also have triple microphone setups at the top. Now the keyboard of this laptop is, I would say, a fairly decent one, but it's not my cup of tea because it's kind of stiff and it has quite a short travel distance. Yet this entire typing area is biased to the left side of the laptop because it does have a number pad. Now, I would say I can live with this keyboard because the trackpad here, although it's large, the palm rejection is actually quite good. And I would just suggest ASUS to throw away the number pad because I don't think a lot of people will use it. I don't use a number pad, and it will be much more comfortable to type on this laptop. Now back to the trackpad here, I think it got a really big upgrade. I mean literally big in terms of size because it's like huge now. And the tracking surface is very smooth, and as mentioned earlier, palm rejection is fantastic. All of the gestures work well. It's just that for some reason, ASUS decided to put it centered on the laptop instead of centered on the typing zone. So when you start typing, then like literally more than 40% of the trackpad will get covered by your hand. And now here comes the funky part. So the ASUS Vivobook Pro 15 OLED comes in a few different spec configurations that we can choose from, and the one that we got here is the highest end variant. It comes with an AMD Ryzen 9 5900HX, 16 gigs of RAM at 3200 MHz, 512 gigs of NVMe SSD, and NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3050 laptop GPU. Looking at the product page of this laptop, ASUS is hinting that this laptop is made for everything: browsing, gaming, content creation, and of course content consumption as well. However, when we look at the spec sheet of this laptop though, the only configuration available, the highest end, is at 16 gigs of RAM. So if I am to run Google Chrome, Premiere Pro, and After Effects at the same time, which I oftentimes do, then I will hit that 16 gigs of RAM ceiling really quickly. And we'll also revisit this part later. Now, how about the performance coming out of this laptop then? As told earlier, editing some fancier videos on Premiere Pro will nearly eat all of the RAM instantly, which is not good. But if we are to do some simpler edits on this laptop, then definitely there's no issue here. But in terms of the user experience while editing videos using this laptop, please get some earphones or headphones, because the fan on this laptop is just really loud and it sounds like a drone propeller right in front of you. You wonder why? Is this meant for presentation or just for shipping? I don't know. It's very lightweight. We'll leave this aside. So here are some instructions on how to. If I tune it down to standard mode for the performance, then yeah, it still works really well for simpler edits, but there are some hiccups here and there. And so I was curious, what type of cooling system did ASUS use for this laptop? Well, I mean, it does have a Ryzen 9 5900HX and an RTX 3050 laptop GPU, so the cooling should be quite beefy. So when I open it up, which was rather difficult by the way, because there are some plastic tabs at the middle part here, which is grabbing the battery compartment as well. And if you're not careful, you will definitely break the tab if you just pry it open. Anyway, when I got it open, I saw two semi-shared heat pipes, I'm not sure if that's how you describe it, each of them leading up to their own heat sinks on the sides. And yeah, that's it. No wonder this laptop does sound like a propeller right in front of you. Anyway, after having a hard time opening up this laptop to satisfy my own curiosity, I immediately realized that this laptop doesn't have a reason for us to open it up in the first place, because there is nothing we can do to upgrade this laptop at all. Remember when we talked about the 16 gigs of RAM? Well, that's the absolute maximum that we can get because the RAM is soldered onto the motherboard. So we cannot add any additional RAM sticks. There's not even an additional SSD slot. So yeah, if we want to upgrade, then we have to swap out the existing SSD. And as a video editor, I think that included 512 gigs is just not enough. Then we gotta talk about the ports of this laptop. I don't know how to tell you this, but I think ASUS should have moved some of the ports from the right to the left side, because as you can see here, this laptop only comes with two USB 2.0 ports on the left side here. And I think one is enough for an external mouse purpose, and I don't know what's the purpose of the second one. And at the right side here, we do have a 3.5mm audio jack, micro SD card reader, a USB 3.1 Gen 1 Type-C, HDMI 1.4, another USB 3.1 Gen 1 Type-A, and a power jack. Now, to be more specific, I think ASUS should have moved either one of the high-speed ports to the left side, because I was using the ROG Strix Arian external SSD while I was editing videos using this laptop. I realized that the cable was sticking out on the right side and it was getting in the way of the mouse. That is infuriating. And also, as a quick mention, the USB Type-C port on this laptop cannot be used for charging. That's just a missed opportunity there. One thing's for sure though, I am impressed with the battery life of this laptop. Despite having such a powerful processor in it, it still manages to last for about 6 to 7 hours in a single charge if I use it conservatively at 40% brightness while viewing mostly dark stuff. Because it's an OLED panel and the battery usage fluctuates depends on what I'm viewing and what brightness I'm in. So at the end of the day, for the exact specs for the Vivobook Pro 15 OLED that we have here, it is priced at 5,199 ringgit, which I think is rather high. But if you remember earlier in this video where we said there are multiple different configurations available for this laptop, one of it is the Ryzen 7 5800H variant, which is priced at 4,799, something like that. That price makes much more sense because it still comes with 16 gigs of RAM, same RTX 3050 laptop GPU, and for that price, if we compare it in the market, we can't really get anything similar, and especially since this laptop does come with an OLED screen, that is enough to sell this laptop. So that's it. That's all we have to share with you about the ASUS Vivobook Pro 15 OLED. It's a bit weird of a name, and yeah, if you have any questions, do leave them down in the comment section below, and we'll see you guys in the next video.